Today we will cover while loop from the basics and we will go till the advanced concepts. We will study about the while loop, the syntax of the while loop, how to use while loop with conditionals, nested while loops, break and continue statements in while loop. Okay, so while loop is also known as indefinite loop. And why it is known as indefinite loop? Because it can keep on running forever, and at the beginning of the loop we don't know how many iterations it's gonna run most cases. At the beginning of the loop we don't know how many iterations it's gonna run, and it can keep on running until the condition is met till infinity. So that's why while loop are known as indefinite loop. And let's see the syntax of while loop. While keyword and then the condition, colon, indentation, and then the code block below that. So this is a very simple syntax of while loop. As long as this condition is returning true, while loop will keep running. As long as this condition is met, as long as this condition is true, the while loop will keep running. So let's create a simple while loop. While I greater than 0 or while I less than 5, print I and I plus equals to 1. So what I'm doing in this while loop, I'm just creating a simple while loop in which I'm iterating using the variable I, and currently the value of I is 0 to start with. The value of I is 0 and I'm comparing it if I is less than 5, right? So every time after a iteration it will come back to this condition, it will check if I is less than 5. So if I is less than 5, it will enter inside this loop and perform all the code statements inside that while loop. So for the first time, if you print I, it's gonna print 0, then it's gonna increment the value of I to 1. The next time 1 is less than 5, it again goes inside the loop and then runs the loop and so on. Let's try to run and see what it prints. So it prints 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Because if I becomes 5, this condition becomes false. And if the condition is false, while loop will not run. While loop will only run when this condition is true. I hope this simple concept of while loop is clear to you. You can ask in the comment section if there are any doubts. Let's move on to the next concept, while loop with conditionals. So this is a simple while loop. Now while loop with conditions. While I, adding on to the previous loop, while I is less than 5, let's just instantiate I equals to 0. So while I is less than 5, if I is even, I modulo 2 equals 0, then I would print yay even, else I will print oh odd. Right, let's see what it prints. It keeps on printing forever because we are not incrementing the value of I. So this is a very important concept in while loops. You have to have increment or decrement operator which will keep you bringing closer to this exit condition. Otherwise you will end up in an infinite loop, and that is wrong. You don't want to be in an infinite loop unless the problem requires. So don't forget to add the increment statements. So I plus equals to 1. So now it prints yay even, ho odd, yay even, ho odd, yay even. So now along with that, let's print the integer also and see what the integer is. So 0 even, 1 odd, 2 even, 3 odd, 4 even. So this is how you can run a while loop with conditionals, if and else statements. I hope this is clear. Any doubts you can ask me in the comment section. Okay, so moving on to nested while loops. So we have studied nested for loops. Now nested while loops are similar, that is one loop inside another. So let's create a nested while loop. So I have this condition I equals to 0 while I less than 5 while j. So I define j here at the beginning of the loop, j equals to 1 while j less than 3 print j I comma j. So as we can see, there are two loops. One is this one and second is this one. This one loops run on I, this loops run on j condition, right? So in these loops we need to add the terminating condition, j plus equals to 1, and for this I plus equals to 1. So this loop has got a termination condition and increment condition. This loop has also got termination as well as increment condition. So now both of these loops will run and this will print. Let's try to run the code. So it says I0 J1 I0 J2 I1 J1 I1 J2. So I is increasing because I is the outer loop, and for every I we will see all the j's 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. I hope this nested loop concept is clear. You can have multiple nesting and there is no limit on that, but as you increase the nesting order, the time complexity will increase. I hope this concept is clear. Any doubts you can ask in the comment section. Always keep in mind you have to have an increment or a decrement operator, otherwise you will run into a infinite loop and we don't want that. I hope so far it is clear. You can ask in the comment section any doubts, any questions you might have. If you are learning from this session, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button and share it with people so that everyone gets a chance to have quality education for free. Let's move on to break and continue statements in while loop. So break and continue give us additional control inside the while loop. So let's see how we can use break and continue statements. So similar example, I equals to 0 while I less than 10. So break. Now, if I is a multiple of 5, then I will just break out of the loop. Okay. If I modulo 5 is 0, right? I is a multiple of 5, then I will break out of the loop, break. Loop will stop running. Otherwise, I will just print. So let's see what this loop prints. And I forgot one thing, I forgot incrementing the I value. This loop, if we would have run it, it would have gone till infinity. So always keep in mind, keep incrementing the value or keep decrementing so that the condition at some time is met. So in this loop, I is the variable on which we are looping. The condition is I less than 10. If I modulo 5 equals to 0, we are going to break on this condition and we are printing and incrementing. Let's see what's the output. So if I modulo 5 equals to 0, then we print the I. So we are basically checking if 5 is a multiple, I is a multiple of 5. And only in that condition we are printing I, otherwise we are just incrementing I. Okay. And break out of that loop. And just print I Okay, I see the problem is, so we are starting I with 0, right? So 0 modulo 5 is 0. That's why it is terminating in the first condition itself. Let us start I with 1. So now you can see it is printing all the i's and it is breaking only when it reaches 5, right? So that's how you can break out of the loop if a particular condition is satisfied. You don't want to keep the loop running until the last condition is met. You can even break out of if the condition is met. So now let's say if I get a multiple of 5, I want to increase I by 3 and then continue to the next index. So you can see it was running fine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till 5, but after that it incremented because it got a multiple of 5 and I got incremented by 3. So this way you can continue the loop on a particular condition if a particular condition is met. Any doubts you can ask in the comment section. If you are learning from this session, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share it with everyone so that they can also get a fair chance to have quality education. So thanks a lot for joining this session. I hope you learned a lot. If you learned, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends so that they can also get a chance to learn and get Python education for free.